I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need. In the off-white Rari, baby, we run the streets. I'm a K-I-N-G, Westside royalty. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, that's all you need. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Steven Lasita. We're on my podcast, Get It, and we are on the Social NOSTRA network. So please make sure that if you're on YouTube, you like, comment, subscribe. If you're seeing us on any of the other platforms, Spotify, or we're on everything at this point, just go ahead and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, any of those things. And today's podcast is going to be on 5 questions I've gotten that I think are really important. And first of all, I just want to say I appreciate everybody's comments, everybody that's reached out to me, and I get a lot of interaction, and I really enjoy that. And of course, I do my best to make sure I interact with everybody as much as I can. And so today we're starting off with the question I've gotten a ton, which is about my morning routine. And do I have a morning routine? And so the answer is yes. I do have a morning routine, and I think that your morning routine is really important to helping you start your day successfully. Now, what I will say is my morning routine has changed in these last 8 to 9 months because of COVID. I've had a brand new baby. I've moved from Southern California, Orange County, California to Denver, and I've just had a change in a lot in my own life. And so my morning routine has also changed up a bit, but my morning routine typically consists of me getting up. I usually wake up about 6:30 in the morning. And when I lived in California, I owned multiple businesses. So I got up usually at like 4. Don't need to get up at 4 anymore, but also because of what I do, I am up really late at night. And because I have different chapters of my basketball organization in different time zones, I'm usually up until 11, 12 at night. So since I've also gotten a little older, I wake up about 6:30. Monday through Friday, I typically do get up at 6:30, go to the gym, get a 45-minute workout in. Then I come home, and when I go to the gym, I take a protein bar, take a protein shake, have them, do my workout. I usually have my protein bar, first, and then I have my protein shake on my way coming home after my workout. And then I have my coffee, and then I get my wife and my daughters ready for their day, breakfast, coffee, all that kind of stuff for them, not for my daughters, but for my wife. And then I get my daughter to school, and off to the races I go. So after that point, my day is broken up. Every day is different. I've got meetings, phone calls, interns meetings. I have internship programs. So I meet with interns, I meet with my directors. A lot of things happen via Zoom or phone call, FaceTime. Once I get through my morning, which usually I'll go between like 8:30 to 12:30, I'm ripping out text messages, emails, phone calls, making sure all that stuff is done. 12:30 to 1, I'll have lunch. And then I'll do reading usually between 1 and 2. I have a bunch of books, and I've talked about this a lot. I think it's very important to always have personal development and growth. That's how you're able to grow what you're doing. And I don't do it every day. So I just want to make sure I try to do it every day. Doesn't always happen. I do run a large organization, and I get bogged down with a lot of busy work at times, especially this time of the season. I'm implementing brand new softwares and programs and all kinds of stuff into my organization. So I'm the person that does all of it. So I spend a lot of time learning, trying to figure out all that stuff. So it takes me a few weeks to get all that down. Usually the softwares are pretty elaborate, and there's just so much, it just takes me time. So get through that. And then usually I try and pick up my daughter around, her school's around the corner. So I'll leave at 3:05, pick her up, I'm home. I try and spend a little bit of time with her for a little while, and just be present with her. So I'll usually spend an hour with her from 3:30 to 4:30, doing whatever it is she wants to do. And then I have practices, workouts, all that kind of stuff pretty much from 5 all the way until 9, 10 at night. Come home, usually dealing with more emails, phone calls, all that kind of stuff. And then I'll shower, eat, and go to bed. So that's what my day looks like. But again, my morning routine is what sets up my day to be successful. So morning routines are really important. I definitely live and breathe by that morning routine. Next, it is, I have a few people that actually asked me if, what's one of the hardest lessons I've learned, or an unnecessary lesson I learned, or a mistake I made that I wish I would have avoided. And what I want to say to that is, although yes, there's definitely mistakes I've made or lessons I didn't want to learn that I learned, I still think that it's important to have those experiences because it helps build you and grow you so that you don't have to repeat those. 2 major lessons I had though, one is about business partners. Be very, very well researched before you become partners with someone. The reason for that is partnerships in business is just like a marriage. You're married to that person. And if you can't trust them, going to be a lot of problems. And if you don't know them really well, then you don't know how they work under pressure. You don't know their values and morals. I mean, I really do have to say, and I've had a couple really awful business partners, one in particular, but you really need to be well researched. You really need to spend the time getting to know someone. It's vastly important. And, I've looked at, as I've grown Rain Basketball, merging with other companies or forming partnerships, and I've flown all over the country to spend face-to-face time with that individual to make sure that we were on the same page and aligned. And I'll tell you what, the amount of time I spent researching and getting to know that person, the people that they know, and asking lots of questions. And it's really something you need to do, because when you're locked into something with a person, it's very messy when you're trying to get out. A lot of times it'll destroy the business, or, you're going to walk away and you're going to be upset that you didn't get things that you wanted. It's like a divorce. It's really hard. So definitely be very, very selective and careful in picking a business partner. And I've heard people always say, well, don't go into business with friends or family. Actually, you're going to go into business, you should go into business with friends or family. Reason being, you already know them really well, just as they know you really well. And the best business partners I've ever had to this day are friends and family. And I've had quite a few businesses because you're married to the person. So if it's a friend or family member, okay, you're married to them. And yes, that's not to say that there isn't going to be times that there's some extra stress on the relationship, but you have a relationship and you'll get it figured out, or at least you should, because you have a relationship. You should be able to look back to that and work through things. One of my best friends to this day has a business partner in the gym business, and with COVID, it didn't survive. Unfortunately, we've had a little after closing and shutting down the business drama that we've had to deal with, but we're really good friends, and our friendship is the foundation of what we do, and we're working it out. We're making it work. So it's just part of life. So I would say to people who say don't go into business with friends and family, totally disagree with that. I think you should. I think it's a safer bet. Obviously, you need to have things ironed out, though. A great game plan. You have your legal contracts that protect everybody. That's just something you should do. I know it's weird to talk about it, but it's still something you need to do. It's a way to protect everybody. It's a way to give confidence in things. That's all part of business anyways, but I think you should definitely do that. If you're trying to go into something, it's better than just finding somebody off the street that you don't know and going into it. Next question was really about something specific in how do I reach specifically like my student athletes, whether I'm training them in the weight room or I'm coaching them on the basketball court. How do I connect with my student athletes? And I love that question because I think it's important, not just for what I do, but for everybody. How do we connect with people? And, student athletes obviously being what the main question I've gotten a lot lately, but connecting with people, it's communication. It's finding common ground. It's finding ways to engage with people on that common ground. And one of the things, just, going back to the whole student athlete thing, we have to remember that they're students, they're kids first, they're athletes next. And so connecting with our student athletes, yes, we have an easy way because they're a basketball kid, so we have that, or maybe they're a football kid or whatever it is. But as a coach wanting to connect with my players and kids that I train, I also just in general connecting with people, you want to find that common ground. You're not going to agree on everything. Find your common ground and then grow and get invested in them. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I love doing that. I'm a huge people person. And so it's one of the things I love doing the absolute most is being connected to people and being engaged in conversation and being able to reach those student athletes. One of the hardest things you're going to go through is when you're invested in all these people's lives and things don't always go well, because it's going to affect you too. I have a kid I've been coaching since he was in 5th grade, probably 10 years old. He's 16 now. And his mom just texted me a couple of days ago that he is unfortunately not going to be alive when the holidays happen. So today's October, I want to say 11th. I might be wrong in that assessment. No, today is not October 11th. It is October 8th. And this young man will not be with us when we get to Thanksgiving. That's really hard. Not really an emotional person in general, but then calling his mom, and that has been very emotional. It's been hard. And again, it's because you're invested. I'm invested in his life. I'm invested in his family. And you know that he is such a young man, 16. He's not going to see 17. That's a really hard pill to swallow. So, and just, some of the kids that I have that play for me, parents passed away, and that's hard. And you want to be there for them. And it's messy. Relationships are messy, but it's so important that young people have someone that they can look to and rely on for that extra support. So, I think there's nothing better than that, to be honest. I love building relationships with my kids and their families. And again, it does take time, energy, effort. It takes emotions. It's not easy. It's not clean, but it's a beautiful thing to have. And so being able just to reach people, like I said, through common ground, conversation, communication, and just getting to know them and take an active interest. And sometimes that means that if you don't agree on things, you still take an active interest in what their opinion and their side is, and you have great conversations. And sometimes they're going to sway you, sometimes they're going to sway them. I think the important thing, though, is just being able to engage people and have an open mind and be willing to have conversation. 4th question was actually a really good question. It was really catered to sharing a little bit about my success and my journey in life and the different things that I've done and accomplished. And, it's a great question. Because it's complicated. And I will say that, 3 keys to my success, though. First and foremost, there's no shortcuts. There just isn't. You really got to do the work. Yes, spend the hours, the time, the money, the energy, all of it. It's hard work. It's worthy. I think it's great to do. But most people, and I use that phrase carefully, most people do not want to do what it takes to truly be successful, which is why there's not tons of successful people. We look to successful people or people that have really done well in life. That's small boat. Not tons of people are in that boat because it's really, really hard. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of dedication, and it's not easy. It's just not easy. There's no way to put it. It's not easy. It's hard. So you got to be willing to put in the work, the time, the energy, the effort. You just have to be willing to do it. And you're not going to want to. I took my wife away this past weekend for her birthday, her 40th redo. Because for her actual 40th, she was pregnant and COVID was really going crazy and you couldn't travel. I didn't want to work at all. I thought I got everything done by Thursday. Thought I was done, hands clean, So excited to take her to Arizona, which was an absolute test of patience, because that's a story for another day, but I felt like the world was conspiring against us to not go to Arizona. Anyways, we got down there, had a great time, but on Friday, I ended up working like 4 hours, 5 hours. I told my wife I wasn't gonna work at all. Spent 4 or 5 hours working when we were in Arizona celebrating her birthday. And then Saturday and Sunday, I got roped into a couple of calls I had to take, which I was really trying to like stay away from. But unfortunately, when you own your own business and it's growing, you're doing your thing, you're doing a good job, this is just part of life. She gives me lots of grace because she knows that. So you're going to work 7 days a week, pretty much every day, 365 days a year. You might get the grace of having like maybe Christmas off, maybe New Year's off, but it's hard, man. You're going to end up working a lot. And you have to be okay with that. So secondly is mentorship. You need to have mentors. I'm also a mentor. I think it's important to be a mentor. I think it's just as equally important to have mentors. And you don't have to have the same mentor forever. When I first started, I had 2-3 mentors. And then over the years, I've changed mentors numerous times. I have one mentor that I've had for quite some time now, two mentors I've had for quite some time now, but they did change quite a bit over the years. And that's healthy. It's good. I don't think you should strap yourself to one mentor forever, because they also have their own life and their business and their own thing. But I think, 2-3 years with a mentor and then moving on is a healthy thing. It helps. It gives you new perspective, and people coming in can see things differently, which is good. So you get that. And honestly, I just don't think there's anything better. Mentorship with the right mentors is so incredibly beneficial. It can literally change your business. And then also with mentorship, being part of a group. And again, just going into talking about success specifically, being with people that are like-minded, they're going to continue to help push and develop you, maybe give you some ideas, but just help. It's a really good thing to be part of a group too. Mentorship, a group, one or the other, both, there's benefits to all of it. So definitely, if you're looking and you're getting into business or you're in business, be part of some sort of a community. It's really, really beneficial. Can't say enough positive things about that. And then thirdly, after you look at really the mentorship, mentors and the group, you could even call it an accountability group. I think that, I don't know, it's tough. That may be the most important thing. It's really hard, working and being dedicated and all that is definitely important, but I don't know, it could go either way between those two. So, but third and final, as far as like the success is concerned, this is my personal opinion, but you just need to love what you do. If you don't love what you're doing, you aren't going to do it. And so the work, the dedication, the long hours, all that stuff, that's going to go out the window. If you don't love, you're not passionate about what you're doing, you will not make it in the long run. It's just not going to happen. You need to love and be passionate about what you're doing, and that will change. And the best example is, for me, I talk about this a lot. I owned a gym business. I'm a strength conditioning coach. I loved it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. However, before COVID happened, I definitely felt the wear and tear of year after year after year of doing it. And I would say that my passion and my fire for it definitely was not the same. And so when I finally had to close the business down and sell everything, it did feel like a weight being lifted from my shoulders. And I've had, I don't know how many people ask me if I'm going to open up another gym, and my answer has been no. And it's very simple. I love what I'm doing now with my basketball organization. I love doing the podcasting. Those are things I love and I really enjoy. owning and running a gym, just don't feel the same way anymore about it the way that I used to. And even training, I do still train athletes. I'm just not really interested in doing what I used to do, though. I don't have the same passion and desire for it. And so I don't want to spread myself thin doing what I used to do because I just don't have the same passion and desire for it. So I don't do it anymore to the same extent. And I think that that's important. You know, you're going to go through changes and shifts in life. COVID obviously was a big shift in life for everyone. And being able just to stick to the things I really enjoy doing, I love doing, and I don't think will ever change, it's worked out great. So I think that that's very, very important. You know, I wouldn't maybe place that at, I don't know, between the three things, any of those could be number one, in my opinion. But I think those are the three most important things. Again, I've owned, sold, operated, run businesses since college. So there's, 20 years of experience that I've had doing all this. And I would say that anything I get into now, I really ask myself those questions first. Like, is this something I'm going to be passionate about? Am I going to love? Am I going to really feel motivated to grind for this? Secondly, am I going to put in the time, the hours, the energy, the effort, all these things to make it grow, to make sure it's successful, to make sure it accomplishes whatever those goals I'm trying to accomplish are? And then third, the mentorship or the group. Like I said, those are really beneficial. It's important to have. Do I want to spend time having other people invest in me as I invest in this? I think that's a really important thing. So those are my keys to success. I don't know that you're going to hear people that have been successful tell you a whole lot different as far as like maybe those top three. If you go top five, yeah, there's a couple others I'd add, but I think that that is a pretty good generalized info that most people are going to give that have been successful, that are successful, and that are working towards being successful because they're in the middle of it, so they understand. And then last question I had, if I can find it, 'cause I just lost it. How do you react in negative situations and in negative moments or bad confrontational moments in business? And, that's a great question. And I think that's actually a really important question, because in business, in life, whether you're a parent, it doesn't matter. It's just in life in general. So many people are so quick to get angry and almost have like this tunnel vision, or they black out. They don't remember what happened after the situation is over. I think it's very, very important to train yourself to be calm, not to react right away, to listen to people. I did customer service for Circuit City when I was right out of college for, I don't know, 8 months to a year. People are going to yell, they're going to scream, they're going to throw a fit. It's most of the time not even directed at you. And if it is directed at you, take what they're saying and listen, because if you hear what they're saying and you ignore the way that it's coming out, so to speak, right? They're yelling at you, raise their voice, whatever it is, but you're listening to what they're saying, and then you can be calm and address it. 99% of the time, you're going to work it out and it's going to be perfect, and you're just going to be able to move through it. It's very rare that you wouldn't be able to work through it. And I've been doing this stuff forever, and I can tell you that people yell at me all the time, and I listen, I take what they're saying, and I just repeat, hey, look, John, I understand you're really frustrated about the situation. What you just told me, this is what I took from it. You're really upset and frustrated because you felt that I didn't communicate effectively enough through my emails that I sent out about what was going on over the course of the next 2 months. And you made your schedule around what you kind of figured was what we were doing, and it's changed, and you're very frustrated and upset about those changes, I'm very sorry about it. And I usually try and take responsibility. Even if it's not my responsibility to take, I still take the responsibility most of the time, because it's just easier to take the responsibility, blame myself, and then fix the problem. If it's something I can't fix because it's really not my, somebody comes to me and they're upset about something that really has nothing to do with me and I can't help them, I'll listen to them and say, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. I'm not unfortunately able to help you, but if I can point them in the right direction, I'll point them in the right direction, So I think it's really important though to breathe, remain calm, hear what they're saying. You don't have to take the tone or anything, just hear what they're saying, repeat it back to them in a calm manner. And just, if you're calm the entire time and you're relaxed and you're staying focused on the points at hand, and you're also staying focused on staying calm, a lot of times that person will calm down. People aren't going to spend their whole, an hour and a half, 2 hours amped up that high and yelling and screaming, and they're eventually going to calm down. But if you're amping them up and going back and forth with them, then yes, they will have wins for quite some time. So it's just important to take time to breathe, relax, work through it calmly. It will help calm them down. Maybe finding even ways you can help with that. Everybody's different. I'm really good at reading body language. Again, I've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time, so I'm really good at reading situations and being able to adapt to whatever that situation is and then address it and fix it. So those are the 5 major questions I've been getting a lot of, and I really appreciate the feedback and the questions. It's been awesome. I really, again, enjoy interacting with everybody, and hopefully this is going to be helpful for some of you out there and maybe going through similar things and just really needing to hear from somebody who's been through a lot of this, reassurance and advice and help as you continue your journey. And again, you are on my podcast, Get It. I am your host, Stephen Basita. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope each and every one of you have an amazing day. And I'll see you next time.